Good morning from Fast Company. Here's our daily look into what's driving today's creative business leaders. When we hear the word obsessed, it tends to carry a negative charge. We think of burnout, imbalance, delusion, maybe even someone a little unhinged. But in reality, obsession, when channeled with clarity and purpose, is often the hidden engine behind real breakthroughs, both personally and professionally. It's what drives people to rise above mediocrity, unlock their full capacity, and perform at levels most never reach. I learned this concept the hard way, not through theory, books, or podcasts, but through a football season that forced me to redefine what commitment really looked like. After finally achieving my dream of being drafted to a D1 football team, I suffered a serious injury in the first game I played. What resulted was an end to my football career, a personal spiral, and an addiction to opioids. When I finally hit rock bottom, I realized that if I was going to change the trajectory of my life, I would need to do so with radical commitment. So I did. But what I discovered applies far beyond football or overcoming addiction. It applies to anyone chasing a goal that demands them to be great, maybe even obsessive. If you're looking to break through to the next level of your career, business, or creative pursuit, here's what healthy obsession, when wielded with intention, can do for you. Use obsession as a strategic tool, not a distraction. Not all effort is created equal. Grinding just for the sake of grinding is usually a fast track to frustration. The people who achieve extraordinary results aren't just working harder, they're working in alignment with a vision that lights them up from the inside out. They're crystal clear on their purpose, their vision, and the why behind their mission. When your purpose is clear, it gives obsession its direction. It serves as a compass. It makes the 4 a.m. alarm clock make sense, even when it looks crazy to everyone else. Without vision, obsession is just burnout in disguise. So instead of obsessing over vague ideas like success or simply being the best, get clear on what you're actually building, why you're building it, and most importantly, why it matters to you. The clarity that comes from this creates endurance. This is so much more than a mindset shift. It's backed by science. A study from the University of Colorado, Denver, found that people with a strong sense of purpose were far more likely to stick with positive habits over time, like consistent exercise. Another study from the NIH showed that when goals are clearly defined and individuals are given the autonomy to decide how to reach them, performance doesn't just improve, it accelerates. Purpose and clarity aren't just nice to have. They're what gives obsession its edge. Most people imagine greatness as this massive, unbridgeable gap, like there's some elite group born with better tools. And in the case of someone like Kobe Bryant, that's probably true. But for most of us, the gap is smaller than it looks. It's not talent, and it's definitely not luck. It's repetition. It's commitment. It's committing to one more rep when everyone else has decided to pack it up. It's being willing to swim out to the deep end and being prepared to tread water for as long as it takes. Where can you stretch just 5% further than what's required? What areas can you give just a little bit more each day? That's often where the breakthrough lives. Build confidence through repetition, not reflection. Confidence doesn't come from talking about it, journaling about it, or waiting to feel ready. It comes from leaning deep into the work, making effort itself become your evidence. Unfortunately, that's the part most people miss. They wait until they feel confident to move. But confidence isn't the entry fee, it's the byproduct. Over time, I've learned that activity creates insight, and insight sharpens your instincts. That insight or experience becomes your internal resume. It evolves into a quiet, unshakable voice that tells you, I've done the work. I've worked my butt off. I've earned the right to trust myself. Confidence built this way doesn't need validation. It's the kind of grounded self-belief that comes from being obsessed with your craft. So, if you're lacking confidence right now, don't overthink it. Get so deep in the work that self-belief has no choice but to catch up. Choose your sacrifice, comfort or greatness. You'll either pay with discipline, discomfort, and focused intensity, or you'll pay with regret, missed moments, and a lifetime of quietly wondering what could have been if you had just gone all in. Choosing comfort comes at the cost of momentum, and giving in to fear quietly steals opportunity. Unlocking your full potential, on the other hand, demands payment up front. It consumes your time, your energy, and your focus long before the rewards ever show up. But it gives back something comfort never will: real growth, meaningful progress, and a sense of pride you can't manufacture. Obsession gets a bad rap, but it's not obsession that's dangerous. It's a directionless obsession that becomes destructive. When you pair consistent, meaningful effort with vision, it does more than sharpen your focus or stretch your limits. You work with conviction. You become the kind of person who doesn't shrink under pressure, but meets it with purpose again and again. That's the beauty of being too committed. It transforms, it builds, it fuels. Get obsessed with purpose, with showing up, and with believing in a vision so powerful and so personal that it demands you rise to the level of extraordinary. That's all today from Fast Company. Talk to you tomorrow.
Spoken Layer.